Welcome back to Creative on the Cheap. If you are new, my name is Courtney. Today I am participating in the Christmas in July hosted by Shannon, the Daily DIYer. She has a new Christmas channel and I couldn't be more excited about it and cannot wait to watch her new channel. When you're done watching this video, make sure you click the playlist down below so you can check out all the other awesome ladies in this collaboration. And without further ado, let's get into these DIYs. They are super easy, super cheap, and super fun to do. Let's go.
And it is cold outside. We gather around the fireplace, and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday. It means so much more than words can say. And I claim that Christmas is a magic day. Sometimes I tend to forget.
For this first DIY, I'm going to be making over this old suitcase that I found out at the curb. I've had it for quite a while and never known what I should do with it. And my sweet friend Sarah Jane from Chic on the Cheap actually gave me some inspiration of what to do with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this Rust-Oleum chalked paint in Farmhouse Red, and I'm going to paint both sides of the suitcase, and I'm going to end up doing 2 coats of paint.
What glory this holiday represents, but it's fair to say that Christmas is a magic day. This year I'll think about how I'm so lucky to have a place that I can come home to. Yes,
And to speed up the drying process just a little bit, I'm just using my heat gun so that I can go ahead and get the second coat down sooner than later.
I am on my way. We'll put our differences aside.
For the side, I decided I wanted to paint a red and black buffalo check pattern. Now, this is the very first time I have attempted to do this, and I actually watched a tutorial from Shannon and from Whitney, and those girls did great tutorials, so I'm feeling pretty good about painting this and making it look pretty decent. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and take some painter's tape, and I'm just going to start on the right side of the suitcase and put down a row of tape, and then I'm going to use a piece of tape as a spacer and then go ahead and put the next row down. You could start in the center of the object that you want to paint and work your way out if you want to make sure that the last 2 stripes on the end are exactly even, but I wasn't too concerned about that. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with my vertical stripes and putting this paint tape down.
And just enjoy this moment of peace and love and happiness. We come together to celebrate. Yes, every time the snow is falling down and it is cold outside, we gather around the fireplace and no.
Once your painter's tape is done, now what you're going to want to do is make a darker shade of, for instance, I'm using red. So a darker shade of whatever paint color you just put down. So I'm going to take some of this Farmhouse Red chalked paint, and then I'm just going to add some of the charcoal chalked paint. Now, funny thing is I thought the charcoal color was black. It's actually a really dark gray. It is not black because I was thinking charcoal's black. But I guess it's more gray when it burns. So this is charcoal that's been burned a little bit, and that's why it's dark gray. Anyway, long explanation about that. But you want to kind of go a little bit heavy-handed so that you can get a darker shade of red. And then I'm going to go in and go ahead and paint those stripes that are exposed right now.
No one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday. It means so much more than words can say. And I claim that Christmas is a magic day. Sometimes I tend to.
I ended up only putting 1 coat of the darker red paint down. So now what you want to do is go ahead and pull up those pieces of tape. And then once you've done that and it's nice and dry, you're going to go ahead and take your painter's tape now, and you're going to do tape lines the opposite direction. You're going to do them horizontal, and you're going to go ahead and tape off in that direction.
What glory this holiday represents, but it's fair to say that Christmas is a magic day. 'Cause
are now ready to go ahead and paint these stripes. Now what this is this red is actually in between the two colors that are already down on your suitcase. So it's the medium tone. It's not as bright as the brightest red, and it's not as dark as the darkest. So you're going to want to put very little of your dark color in there. So I barely put any of that charcoal paint in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and go in and paint these stripes.
Yes, every time the snow is falling.
And here I just wanted to quickly show you the three different reds. So the brightest, the middle one is the darkest, and then that last one is the in-between color. So you can kind of see the three different shades. We are at the last step. So now leaving that painter's tape on there, you're going to go back to putting some vertical tape, and this tape is going to go down on your lighter stripes of red. So those darker ones are the ones that are going to be left exposed, and you're just going to go ahead and tape down vertical pieces of tape, and then once those are down, you're going to go in with your dark color, which I again thought it was black, but I'm using charcoal, and you're going to go ahead and paint those stripes.
Down, and it is cold outside. We gather around the fireplace, and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday. It means so much more than words can say. And I claim Christmas is a magic day. Sometimes I tend to forget what glory this holiday represents. But it's fair to say that Christmas is a magic day.
Once the tape is all pulled off, this is what it looks like. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and tape off the inside of this painted pattern, and I'm going to take my charcoal paint, and I'm going to go ahead and paint the rest of the suitcase, all on the sides, all of the hardware. I decided to leave the brown leather handles as is because I thought just made it a little more whimsical. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just protect this with this, and then go in with that charcoal paint and put on, I ended up doing 3 coats of the charcoal paint.
It's cold outside, but the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe. And I've gotten you a present that I put under the tree. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is falling down, and the storm is on its way. But as long as you're around, everything will be okay.
The suitcase is all painted, so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and apply my vinyl decal that I made. I made one that says I'll be home for Christmas. I also turned it into a little printable. If you like this decal and you want it as a printable, it is linked down below, along with everything else that I can possibly link will be down in the description box. Now, if you don't have this, this is a great project to use just regular stencils and stencil on with paint. You could add wooden letters, you could add stickers. There's lots of options to get the words on there. You do not have to have a cutting machine to get this same look.
'Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. I've longed for this moment to have you for myself in a cabin out in nowhere, just us and no one else. I've decorated everything till we're perfect for this week. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me.
I finished applying my decal to the suitcase, and then I decided I wanted to make a little luggage tag, and I had this leftover sign, this little tag from Christmas last year from Dollar Tree. So I did the best I could trying to make a little printable that I could just easily attach to this, and then it'll be double-sided. It'll have a little Christmas picture. I'm not going to change that. I'm going to leave that on there, and then I'm just going to attach this paper tag to it, and then I'm just going to use a little bit of the Gorilla Glue spray adhesive to get this attached to the tag, and then I'm going to go ahead and attach it to my suitcase, and then go ahead and add a little greenery, and then this project is all finished.
Another year went by, but the difference this time is that ever since July, I've been happier than I have ever been. It's safe to say that my love for you is true. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. How long?
For the second project, I'm going to be using one of these little calendars from Dollar Tree, and the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and take off all the tags. I'm going to unscrew the little hooks and take off the jute twine, and then I'm going to go ahead and go in with some of the Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, and I'm going to paint both sides, giving it 2 good coats of paint.
For this moment, to have you for myself, in a cabin out of nowhere, just us and no one else. I've decorated everything to be perfect for this week. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me.
Once it's all painted and dried, I'm going to use one of my favorite distressing techniques that I learned at Creativation with Jennifer and Shannon. So what you're going to want to do is just take a votive candle, and I like to go ahead and pull the wick out just to make it easier. And you're just going to take this candle and you're going to rub it all over your sign. You just want to get a nice coat on it. And then if you end up with any of the little wax boogers is what I call them, sorry for lack of a better word. You want to just make sure you get those smushed down and that there's not any little clumps of wax anywhere, because that will kind of mess with your project. So again, just get this nice and coated, and then we'll be ready to paint over it.
All I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. I've longed for this moment, to have you for my.
Once your wax is on there, it's time to paint. So I'm going to be using some of the Waverly White Chalk paint, and I'm going to go in. I'm actually going to put 2 coats. So the first coat I'm going to put on there, let it dry pretty close to being almost dry all the way. Then I'm going to go ahead and put on a second coat. Now here's the key. You don't want to let it dry completely. You want to let it dry till it's just tacky. And at that point, you're going to be ready to start chipping away at your sign.
In a cabin out of nowhere, just us and no one.
This is the fun part. So you're going to want to take your scraper. Now these came from Creativation when we took that class. I will see if I can try to link something similar. And what you want to do is you're just going to go in, and anywhere you want that black to show through, you're just going to take your scraper and you're going to scrape at it. What makes this different from dry brushing, in my opinion, is you're getting a little bit of depth, and I feel like this is way more of a chippy look because of that layer of wax. When you kind of scrape at it, it kind of, I don't know how to describe it, dents down a little bit, if that makes sense. So again, it really gives an authentic chipped look. So I'm just going to go along and scrape this up as much as I want. And then once that's done, I'll be ready to start adding back all my little accessories to get this sign finished.
I've decorated everything to be perfect for this week. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me.
I got my sign looking how I wanted it to. So now I'm going to go ahead and put these little hooks that came with it back in. Originally they were gold, and I went ahead and spray painted them black. Now the star of this DIY, I guess, are these keys that I picked up in a pack from Amazon. It came with, I think it's 30 keys, and it was $6.99. These are bronze colored. They have different designs. I really, really like them. Such a great deal. I will definitely link them down below. There's lots of options on Amazon, but these were the ones that I liked. And once I put these keys on the hook, then I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Now, I knew I wanted it to say Santa's Master Keys. So I'm not going to use a Cricut vinyl for this. I'm just going to use some Dollar Tree stickers. And originally, I was going to do the word Santa's with one type of sticker and then Master Keys with another. And to get the stickers on to the sign, I'm just using this ruler. This is a hack that I learned from Jennifer. You just set them up here so you can get them spaced evenly, and then you go and you put them down, and it really does help kind of get the stickers in place. After I messed with these stickers for a while, I realized that I really wasn't digging the whole Master Keys being in this different font, plus these stickers were being kind of wonky when I was working with them. So for Santa's, I went ahead and did this other sticker, and then when I put that one down, I really liked how it looked, so I went ahead and did the words Master Keys with the same type stickers. Those stickers did actually come from this Remarks pack from Hobby Lobby, and there's tons and tons of stickers in it. And so after I put those down, then I went in with a little bit of white paint, barely any on the brush, and I just brushed over the letters so they weren't so shiny and black.
Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my...
Once the stickers are down, you're going to want to go over it with a coat of Mod Podge just to keep them in place. And then I'm going to take some of these little chalkboard card tags, and I'm just going to trim them down just a little bit. They kind of hung down a little too far and covered up my words. So I'm going to trim them just a little bit so that I can hang my keys up against them. And then I decided that the bronze keys were kind of boring, so I went ahead and painted one with gold. This was kind of a mess up key because it was curved, and I really liked how it looked, so I ended up painting all the keys gold to give them a little extra pizzazz. I'm ready to work on my little labels for the keys, and I had these little tags, and all I'm doing is just trimming off the little ring and then the other end of it. And then I'm just going to handwrite what I wanted, so there's tons of options. In the end, I decided on Sleigh, Coal Factory, and Cookie Safe, but you certainly could do Toy Workshop, you could do Naughty List Vault, you could do Stable, you could do Bakery, you could do anything you could think of that has to do with the North Pole. Totally up to you. And I just decided to handwrite these, and then once that was done, I tried to go back and forth with where I wanted to place them, but in the end I decided to just go ahead and hot glue them down kind of next to the key because I felt like it just made it look like it was sort of attached to the key. And then this little sign is all finished. The very last touch is just to go ahead and add some twine to the back so that you can hang it up.
Angels in the sand, you ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sun said it is just getting better on a blanket with the skyline painted in blue. Ooh, yeah, that's what we do. We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring.
The third DIY I'm actually going to be making over this fall sign that I picked up last year from Hobby Lobby for 30 cents. So yes, I know that I could probably use it for decor right now, but I picked up a ton of them and I'm still going through them. So all I'm going to do is paint off the frame around this with some painter's tape, and then I'm going to go in with some Waverly White chalk paint and go ahead and paint this with 3 coats of the paint. Dry. So here I have a Cricut sticker that I printed out. I just found a free SVG on Pinterest. I will link it down below. There's also a printable where you can print this design out on printer paper, and of course you could use that in any of the little Dollar Tree signs. You can just resize it to how you need it. And all I'm going to do is put this sticker down, and then this little sign is all finished.
Christmas, we're gonna dance. We're gonna dance, 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 come on. Dance. We're gonna dance, dance, have a good time. Dance, dance, all night long. We're gonna dance, dance, and have a good time. I think Santa's gonna come.
And the last DIY is probably going to give you some boho Christmas vibes. So this yarn, the Just Yarn brand, came from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to start by making a bunch of tassels. Now, this is customizable. You can make a tree as big as you want, however small you want, the tassels as big as you want, etc. So what I used is just my 4 fingers, and I just took the yarn and I wrapped it around my hand 20 times, and then I went ahead and cut the yarn. Once I've done that, I'm going to take a piece of yarn and tie up one end, and I'm just going to double knot it. And then once that has been tied, you're going to want to cut the other end so that you have those strings free. And then the last step will be just to go ahead and tie up the little top part of the tassel. So to do that, I'm going to take a piece of yarn and I'm just going to tie up the top, and again, just double knot the yarn.
Join us in this song. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling, or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be.
Okay, for the next part of this project, you're gonna go be one with nature, and you're going to find a stick. Now, luckily our yard is not all that right now, so I'm gonna trim a stick. Now, if you don't have anything to trim, this is a perfect time to maybe go to your neighbor's house and offer to trim their bushes. So I'm gonna use my 10 snips because, well, why not? And this needs to be trimmed anyway, so this is the stick I want. Look at that, oh yeah. And you're doing yard, see, not only are you crafting, you're doing yard work. So get yourself a stick and then you're ready for the next step.
All right, so I have this picture. It was left over from a Hobby Lobby find. It measures 10 by 13, but you could pick up a frame from Dollar Tree to do this just as easily. And I ended up making a total of 10 tassels. And then for the stick, I put just the stick, like one piece of the stick, and it was just too skinny. So that's why I decided to go ahead and cut my stick up a little bit, and I put 3 pieces of the stick. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and kind of lay this out. So it's going to be 4 tassels on the bottom row, and then it'll be 3 tassels, and then 2 tassels, and then 1. I also went in and did a little bit of extra trimming. This is, again, just your personal preference. This is where you can kind of go in and tweak it. It's a lot like trimming a bonsai tree, if you enjoy that kind of thing, because it's a little snip here, a little snip there. And once I got it all laid out, then to get this attached, all I'm going to do is just use some hot glue and attach it to my sign.
Christmas in my heart, but this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You and me, doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. Whoa, oh, oh, la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da, making our Christmas memories. doing so much lately. I can barely find the time to sleep.
And there you have it, 4 Christmas DIYs. Let me know down below which one of these was your favorite. Thank you, Shannon, for inviting me to participate in this Christmas in July. I absolutely love doing these type of things. And don't forget, you can find me on social media. And if you are new, please say hi down below so that I can say hi back. Don't forget to go check out all the other ladies with the link down below in the description box. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!
Yeah, I spend my time running around.